What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Back on my late night hype. Back on my late night hype. Meant to do this a lot earlier, but had a few things to do when I got back in from Dallas this evening. So here we are, man, moving on this late night. Let me cut this ceiling fan off of this spin be messing with me when I'm looking at it on the thing. It like messes with me, so I want to cut the little thing off. So, but anyway, man, we here on a late night, man. Not too late, but late for a lot of y'all, because I'm assuming some of y'all got to get up and go to work, but some of y'all might not have to go to work. Some of y'all might not want to go to work, but we're gonna get it on, man. As you come into the room, be sure to hit that like button for your big brother. Let that be the first thing you do. Let that be the second thing you do. The first thing you do is just coming in the first place, but let clicking that thumbs up be the second thing you do. And look, I asked for the like button early. If I get to running my mouth and y'all don't like something I say, you can always take it back. You can always take your dollar back. It's all good. Take your little money back. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. Before we get into the topic, man, because this is an important one. But before we get into the topic, I want to in Dallas last night, all the people who came to support the South Park Coalition, we didn't have a really big crowd last night, but the people that were there, they were there for the cause, and the energy was great, and the support was great, and the love was there. And that's got to be a lesson to a lot of artists who are coming up, that, some days, you're not going to pack the house. Not going to pack the house every time. But as a professional, on days, my audio messing up, say yes if you can hear me good. If you hear me good, just say yes. Just say yes, man. Let me make sure we good before I get to talking. If you can hear me good, just give me a yes. Okay. Because everything is showing good on my end, but okay, so I don't know. Hopefully it'll get together. Appreciate you, Lady Dragon, for letting us know. Okay, cool. All right, but as an artist, we got to understand that sometimes it's not going to be a packed house. But what I like to instill in younger artists coming up, and sometimes you got to tell a lot of the older artists, look, bro, you don't worry about, you don't perform, your performance level should not be based on who didn't come. Your performance level should always be based on who did come. And what I think about it, that's a good segue to this topic that we got going on tonight. Hey, y'all hit the like, man. Hit the like, man. It's like half of y'all in here that haven't clicked the thumbs up. So I'm going to wait on y'all to catch these likes up so we can get right into the topic, man. Because, the more we can kind of manipulate this algorithm to the best of our ability, then the more chances of visibility for these videos we have, the better shot at visibility. So y'all click that like, man. Some of y'all in here that haven't done it yet. I told you, if you don't like what I say, you can take it back. You can just take your like back, click it again, and take it right off. So you're not losing nothing. It's like putting down a deposit. You put down a deposit, but you're gonna get the deposit back. Like if you stay at a hotel and say, well, we require you got to put in but when it's over with, if you don't tear the room up, you get your money right back. So you're really not spending nothing, man. But according to the topic, man, knowing how to know when something or someone is for you versus when it's not, or when they are not. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we suffer from, because we as human beings, we are as deep and as intellectually sound and as on top of the game as we think we are. All of us think we on top of the game, man. You can't put nothing past me, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. We are notorious misjudgers of character. We are notorious misreaders of situations. And we don't come into the clarity of who a person is or what a situation is a lot of times until we are victimized by that person or by that situation. Then, okay, now I see that this wasn't what I thought it was. And in extreme cases, sometimes we got to get bit by the dog 18 times before we finally go, okay, well, I guess that person is really not for me. You know, it takes a while, and everybody sees it but you. Everybody sees it but me. So we need to go over tips with each other to figure out how to best learn in advance or best learn early who is really with you and who's not, and what situations are right for you and what's not. I would leave it up to y'all to determine what y'all want to start with first. Y'all want to start with people first, or do you want to start with situations first? Even though situations are absolutely going to involve people, but I will let y'all decide what y'all want to go. Y'all want to people or situations? Because we're going to cover them both. It's just all about what we decide to deal with first, because this is something that we got to fix, and it could stop us from sticking our hands in a lot of traps as we move forward. Because this is not just a youth problem. It's not a problem that you go through as you young. Well, I was young and I didn't know, yeah, okay, that's cool. But unfortunately, some of y'all 35, 40, 45, 50 still fall into these same situations. Okay, so people, let me say we got people. Okay, people. All right, we'll start with people. And which is cool, that's the one that connects with us the most. See, we are in search of validation a lot of the time. Some people are just in search of just being accepted and being viewed as somebody that, hey man, I mean something to the world. I'm important to the world. And in that, sometimes we'll go over the top. We'll go above and beyond trying to show somebody who's not worthy of our loyalty, which we're trying to show them how loyal we are. We're trying to show them how down we are. We're trying to show them how faithful we are. We're trying to show them how supportive that we are. And you find out that you're not getting none of that back. You're not getting any of that back from the person who you're giving all of that to. I'll say that again. You're not getting anything back from a person that you're giving everything to. So if something is steady going out but nothing is going in, then that's not an even exchange. It's not a balanced exchange of energy. It's not a balanced exchange of time. It's not a balanced exchange of resources. And eventually somebody's going to get drained. Somebody's going to be drained of their resources. And when you find yourself in need of the same assistance that you've been given all along, then all of a sudden you don't get it. Ding, 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 ding. The bell rings and you realize, man, this person was never really for me. They were just for what they could get out of me. And Locomotion say that's betrayal. It's betrayal. Yeah, it is betrayal, but it falls under so many other categories and adjectives as well. So, but a lot of it also depends on who's the person that you're trying to get validation from. See, because it happens on so many levels. People have bad relationships with their parents, right? They have bad relationships with their parents, and or they feel like their parents, or maybe one parent was never really supportive of them. Man, it's like this, man, my daddy never just really was there for me. He was there, but he wasn't there. I grew up in the house with him, but he never seemed to show me that kind of love. Maybe he seemed to show another sibling more support and love than he showed you, and you never could figure out why. It's like, man, why does this man never? And so you go out your way. You try to do everything you can just to get him to look just as simple as saying, hey man, good job, son, good job, daughter, whatever the case is. And you seem to never get that. And two things can happen. You either spend your whole life being dissatisfied because you could become super successful and he never gives you just that, I'm proud of you, I love you, oh man, you did a great. You never get that. And you never get an explanation of why. Or you may go the other direction, man, and now you start lashing out. The youngster starts lashing out, starts getting wild in these streets and getting in trouble all the time, which will seem to validate what he might have thought about. Well, he don't think I'm gonna be nothing no way, so I'm gonna just be nothing. I'm gonna prove him right. But you never knew why. And you still have love for him, be mother, daddy, you still got love for him no matter what. But the love leads to the pain and the hurt because you like, man, wow, what you got against me? What do you have against me? And the sad part is sometimes a parent, for whatever reason, it may be something that had nothing to do with you. It may just have to do with something that they dealing with. And a parent just doesn't give you that love. Well, you got to lean on your real father in that case. You got to lean on the creator. You got to lean on the God. You got to lean on the Most High to ease that spirit in you and that pain in you that will probably never go away because all you want from that person is love. It could be a person you in a relationship with. It could be a person that you just have, you've been with them forever, and they just going through the motions with you. They don't give as much. They don't pour as much into the relationship as you do. Now, in my opinion, those type of people are the kind that should be the easiest to get out of your way. Now, parents are different because look, man, these are people that brought you into birth. They brought you on the planet, and you just had a natural love and affinity towards them. But when you're dealing with somebody maybe in a relationship and you're not recognizing that this person ain't really for you, because if you ever in a relationship and you have to ask yourself, what am I getting out of it? How am I benefiting from this? If you just assess the totality of y'all's connection with each other, relationship, friendships, but I'm gonna stay on relationship. If you ever have to question and wonder, what am I getting out of this? Based on what you putting into it, anytime they need somebody to shoulder the cry on and talk to, I'm there. Anytime they need some advice, I'm there. Anytime they need a resource, like, hey man, my car on flat, I'm stuck over here, it's 2 a.m. I get up, I go. Hey man, I need a place to stay for a few weeks, a month. Come to my house. Hey man, I need to borrow some money. I got you. And you find yourself, now you rewinding in your mind the nature of y'all's relationship. You going down the grocery list and you realizing that all those things that you've done, you've never been able to get them back. And not even if this is your list of what you've done, this is your list of what you've actually done, and you compare your list of what you've done to just what you have even asked them to do for you, not even what they did. Because some people are just the givers. That's just how it is in situations. Some people are just more the dominant givers. We give, we don't have no problem with it. Hey man, it's cool, ain't no problem. Hey, don't worry about it, man. You good, I got you. Over and over and over and over again to multiple people. See, some people are giving all over the place. People don't realize it because they're benefiting from what you're giving them. Like, he helps me out, she helps me out, but they don't even know you taking care of this one. You looking out for that one. You just the giver. But the giver, regardless of if they'll admit it or not out loud, the giver always reaches a point of frustration. Like, well, man, when's somebody gonna do something for me? Everybody asks themselves that question. That's human nature. That's just a natural thought, because normally the giver, this is the thing about a person who's a natural giver. Normally, number one, like I said, a natural giver, they don't really even like to ask people for nothing. Just don't feel right. Say, you could be really in need, I'll figure it out. But another thing about the natural giving person is that if it comes down to something that they do ask for, usually it's something real small. And it's something real subtle, like you might just want to vent. You might just want to get something off your chest about something, man. You might want to talk about what's going on at your job. A little stress that's going, man. These people up at the job at you, man. I don't know. Hey, man, when I'm calling you back, man. Hey, I would talk to you, man, but I'm over here at this. And it's the same person that you always go out your way for, but they can't take 5 or 10 minutes to hear you out. Those are the things that make a natural giver more angry than anything. It's like, because there's a saying that goes that a person who cannot be faithful over small things can never be made a master over great things. So I use that quote in relation to relationships. So if you are trying to see if a person is right for you, is for you, you may test them, which you should. You should test them, they should test you. Because you got to know, sometimes you got to put people through the fire to see if they worthy of this journey with you. Especially if you have your priorities in order. If you already know what you're trying to do in life, you already know what you're trying to get done, and you want to have somebody to take that walk with you, you got to make sure that whoever taking that walk with you is really walking with you, not walking behind you, not lagging behind to see if you're going to fall in the ditch so they can go the other way. See? So you put people through the test. And you put people through the test, if it's somebody you really like, you're not mad when they fail a small test, because you start with the small stuff, right? You start to just see little stuff. Like I said, little stuff like, hey, my car broke down. Can you take me to work and pick me up later on when I get off? And they just freak out, man. Hey, man, I don't have time. I ain't got no gas, and just instantly like, you studying, like, okay, let's see, okay, you went from that to that, behind that, something simple like that, because you know you wouldn't have reacted like that for them. So you put a little test out there. You see how they are with money. You know, hey, Hey, give me $10 and I give it back to you later on when we get to the house. And it's people that, I'm speaking of fact, I've seen it. It's people that are that petty behind $5 and $10, right? To where if you say, hey man, I thought I had some money on me. Hey, go and pay for the food. And when you drop me off, I'm gonna come bring your money out. And they be like, okay, oh, why you didn't bring your money? So that's petty stuff. So all of these things are things that you should take note of, because if these minor things are a problem, and I'm just making little examples, if these little things are a problem, you sure can't depend on trying to build and establish something big with a person who thinks like that. So at that point, like I said, you shouldn't be angry. You don't get mad. The word that comes to me is disappointed. You get disappointed when? When does disappointment set in? Disappointment sets in when you have what? Expectation, or when you have hope. So if you meet somebody and you say, oh, they cool, because I said in another live recently that everybody's going to present the best version of themselves. Well, they're going to present what appears to be the best version of themselves just to get in the door, right? So they're going to present that side of themselves, but time is going to reveal who they really are. So you're disappointed because based on their presentation, you hoped, you expected, and you hoped that, man, this might be it. Man, he's showing all the signs of being a great man. She's showing all the signs of being a great woman. Wow, this might be it. So that little bitty thing that you asked for, little bitty punk, little minor little thing you asked for, they act like it's the worst thing in the world. They act like you just asked them to do the worst thing in the world. It's disappointing. But after the disappointment, you know what should come after the disappointment? Ready for this? Relief. You should process it and go, okay, it's early. I've been knowing this person a week, 2 weeks, even a month. That's early. 2 months is early. 3 months is early. Some of y'all think, oh, well, we've been dating 5 months, 6 months. That's not a long time. So you telling me you 33, 34 years old? You are young as a person if you in your 30s. You a young man or a young woman if you in your 30s. So you can't say 6 months is a long time or enough time to where you got a feel to this person and you know all of the ins and outs of this person. Nah, you don't know everything. Every now and then you hit a home run and you meet some people, you see somebody met in 2 weeks, they get married and it works out. Yeah, I talked about that last time. But that's needle in a haystack, bro. For the most part, you don't know that person. So you should feel relieved if within that time span, they're already starting to show you qualities that let you know, I got they back, but they ain't got mine. Some people have married those type of people. And you can look at it and say, man, honestly, this person ain't never been there for me. And I don't want to keep it in relationships and marriage and all that, because similar to marriage and relationships, a friendship dynamic can be the same way. Same way. Only difference with the friends, and y'all ain't laying up together and sleeping together. but the dynamic can be the same, because we all have had that friend that they'll let you do everything and never volunteer. We had a homie one time, I'll never say his name, but we had a homie one time who, he was going through a rough time. And me and the homie Murder One, we hung out. It was we us three would hang out. And we would always, like, we go to eat, we pay for his food. One of us would pay for his food. We go somewhere else, one of us would pay to get him in, go to a club. Okay, I pay for me, you pay for him. Okay, I got him, I got you, come on in. And this guy would just, because, and we were like, okay, he's doing bad right now. We know he had been through some things and he was doing bad. So it was understood, because as a friend, the one thing that you should never do when you are helping another friend or doing something for a friend, don't make them feel bad about it. Don't be the person who's always gotta mention what you did for somebody to that person or to other people. That's a bad quality to have. Don't do that. Don't ever be that person. But so it was understood that he didn't have, hey man, we would discuss it. Hey man, you got him tonight? You got him? Oh, okay. No, I got him last time. You pay for him this time. Okay, cool, no problem. Till one day, weeks and weeks later, and we hanging out every weekend, going to the club, going to eat, all this different stuff. We went and ate and paid for his food like we always do. Paid for his food. And later on that night, can't remember where we was, might have went to like a convenience store, if I ain't mistaken. I think we went to a corner store. And while we spread out the corner store, looking stuff, whatever, this dude walks up to the counter with some items and pulls out a wad of money. Pulled out a knot. And me and Murder did this. This my head, this Murder's head. We went. It was just like that. We couldn't believe it. Because not only had this person allowed us to pay for his food for the past few weeks, we had just paid for his food that night. That night. So the mistake that we made was we didn't check him on it on the spot. We didn't check him on it right then, because that's what we should have did. That's what I would have done now. We didn't check him on it. But we didn't make the second mistake. The second mistake would have been to continue to been paying for, that was dead after that. It was over after that. Because now you view that person in the light like, wait a minute, dude. You start to question what kind of mental makeup do you have to where you know you got money and you'll still let other people do these things for you and not one time say, well, no, man, I got it tonight. Because I can't say you had money like that all along, because I know you didn't. Maybe you just came into that lick that day or yesterday, but whenever you just came into it, you came into it. You got it. You can hold your own now, or you could return the favor and say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna pay tonight, man. Y'all put that back in your pocket. That person ain't for you, man." People like that will let you support them for the next 873 years if you allow yourself to be that way. So that's a lesson that had to be learned to reveal that that person wasn't for us. And that's a lesson that a lot of y'all go through as well. You know, people who have money, but they like to spend your money. They like to spend other people's money and hold on to their own money to get and do the things that they want to do. Meanwhile, you squeezing to look out for them and show them love, and barely can take care of yourself. So now, when that behavior is continued, who's at fault? Is it the person's fault who's using you at that point? Who's at fault? So patience have to come into play, not patience with that person, patience in the study and analysis of that person before you start to get into and develop a pattern of doing these things. Man, you got to plant, you have to plant your seeds on deserving soil. You have to plant your seeds in places where the fruit that it bears is going to be good fruit. You can't bless everybody game like that. You can't do it. That goes for relationships, friendships, whatever, whoever. You got a friend at work. Anytime they want to take off and go and do something, they ask you, can you work for me? Can you cover my shift? I'm going to the concert. I got tickets. Please. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do it. You wanted to be home and have your off night too. They call you again. Can you cover my shift? All right, I'll do it. Guess what's going to happen when you ask them to cover yours? Because you got something you want to do. Even if they don't have nothing to do, they're going to say, well, I had something to do too. They're not going to get it back like you gave it. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Let's see what y'all talking about. Jovan says, what if you're not in the position to lead that narcissist? You better hurry up and get in position. That's what you got to do. You have to get in position. How did you get out of position in the first place? Did you get out of position because you was enabling them, giving all your resources to them? If that's the case, you got to cut them loose. I'm gonna go up this time instead of going all the way back. The Godfather says, right on, always giving more in a relationship than another disappointment. It's a disappointment, but that disappointment got to be temporary. You got to shake that off quick. And like I say, feel the relief, feel the blessing of like, man, because it's nothing. You ever seen somebody that you almost got with, but you didn't? You recognized it this time, and you recognized it on time. You saw something ain't right. You dated them a couple of times, then you like, something ain't right. And you got out of there, right? Then you see somebody else with them, and the person that's with them now, man, they going through it. They, oh my gosh, oh man, how did I? And you say, whew, I dodged that bullet. They might have married them. And you see they are manifesting the very same ways that you saw early, and you got out. But you see somebody else that didn't get out, whether they didn't recognize it, whether they ignored it, or whether they got tricked by a false facade. And you go, whoo, Boy, she putting them through hell, boy. I dodged that bullet. Have any of y'all ever done that before? Or, see, that's the good side of it. The bad side is if you the one who's with the person and there's some dude on the side looking like, whoo, sucks to be you right now. They looking at you like, man, I wish I could have warned you, bro. I wish I could have warned you, sis. I could have told you how he was. Jovan says, it's like she can never do anything wrong, but she's quick to jump on someone else when they do wrong, and that angers me. Well, you have to separate from that person. That's an easy solution. Because you don't want to get to the point where you allow it to anger you and then cause you to act on that anger in a way that works against you, especially if you're not the one who's doing wrong, if you're not the one that's doing wrong. And it sounds simple to say, man, you just got to break loose, but you got to break loose. Because a pattern of, like you say, narcissistic behavior is a pattern. You know, a person can demonstrate patterns of narcissistic behavior because they are narcissistic, but that's who they are. But you can also display patterns of enabling behavior to a narcissist if you don't separate from it. So now y'all are feeding each other. You feeding the beast. Because we'll complain about the actions, but we'll stay in the middle of, I fall in a pool full of piranhas, right? And I feel them biting on me, but I ain't trying to swim to get out. I'm just, oh, these piranhas, oh, yeah. Swim, get out the water. And when you come out the water, you're going to be bit up a little bit, but whew, got out that water. Much love, Brand Blue. Thank you for coming through. I'm reading some more comments, y'all. Yeah, see, Adam Anarchy already said it. He said, just try to avoid narcissists, cut ties. I didn't even see your comment. Same thing, you cut ties, man. If you stay in it, it's your fault now. And like you say, if you're not in a position, you better start working your way to get in a position, to get out. Lavish Logo says, trying to instill the shield most people don't have. Your life is your choice. You choose your relationships and their dynamic. Yeah. See, knowing who and what's good for you, part of that whole thing, once you start to grow and evolve and understand it, is recognizing your absolute role in the choices that you made. You chose, you allowed that person into your life. So now what do? You allowed them into your house. They came in your house, messing you kick them out your house. Kick them out. Kick them out the house. Christian Jacob says, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. Explain that one. You got to study people, man. You got to study people. Some people know the history of behavior of other people and will still involve themselves with them. Just say like on a business deal, you've heard or even seen proof that this person does bad business. He's done bad dealings with other people, right? And you know, but you take on this approach where I ain't gonna do that to me. I already know. I know about all that. See, he ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna be able to pull that on me. And then you end up getting victimized the same way. See, you're not recognizing. They talk about red flags all the time. Whatever color the flag is, it's a flag. Locomotion says, just like the mirror says, things may be closer than it appears. Christian Jacoba says, testing the people close to you would just leave you lonely and depressed, let alone very selfish. Well, it depends. The key word, disappointment. I'll be disappointed, but I'm not gonna let the those negative sides of other people draw me down into depression. I'm not gonna let your ways destroy me, because I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be disappointed, but that's gonna pass. Because like I said, see the word I use, Christian, after the disappointment, relieved. I'm gonna be relieved. I'm gonna be thankful. I'm gonna be thankful to God that I saw it, that I caught it. That was a guy, that was the sixth guy who was supposed to be on that submarine, that submersible that went down to the Titanic. That was the sixth guy. It was 5 people on it. It was another guy that was supposed to be on it, and he backed out at the last minute. Some told him, this don't feel right. So he felt a sense of pain and sadness of what happened to the 5 that went. But I can guarantee you, he felt a sense of gratitude and relief and thankfulness that he made the decision that he made. He made a decision to realize something that was not for him. Like, nah, this don't feel right for me. And he backed out. So that's what I'm saying. It's a principle of life where you look and say, you study situations. He may have researched the submersible. He may have said, hey, this thing don't look safe, man. I'm listening to this other person saying this about it, this about it. Nah, he studied it and said, I ain't going. That's how we got to be with people. Nah, I ain't doing that. This dude seems to have a quick temper. I'm going to pass on him. He may be a domestic violence candidate. I'm going to pass on him. Hey, man, y'all click the like button if you haven't already. Some of y'all just coming in. Click that thumbs up for your big brother. Lindsay says, I'm there now, frustrated to the fullest. It can be frustrating, but one of the biggest mistakes that we all make, we spend too much time trying to fix the wrong people. Now, notice I never said that it's wrong to make an attempt to try to make a person better. I use the word fix, but I prefer to say to try to make a person that you care about or a person you want to incorporate into your world, and you see certain things that don't sit well with you, it's natural to try to make them better by saying, hey, why don't you try this? Hey, you're real smart in this. You ever thought about going to school? You ever thought about, hey, I know somebody that can get you on? And, you see wasted potential in the making. But when that person shows an unwillingness and they just shut down everything you try to suggest to them to make it better, they just blah, 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 blah. They just blocking you like a superhero. It's nothing you can do. You have to make the decision early to say, all right, you know what? We're not gonna mesh. There's gonna be compatibility issues because I seem to want something that he doesn't seem to want. But the mistake we make is not trying that. It's trying it too long. Now you've been jacking around 5 years with this cat. They've shown you who you are, who they are. They showed you. Well, I just give him some time. How much time he need? Y'all was 23 when y'all met. Y'all 29 now. Still the same dude. You wasting valuable time that could be shifted, energy that could be shifted, attention and focus that could be shifted on somebody who's here with you. Because you liked him or you liked her for the wrong reasons. Something else that's making you not want to give up on it. Something possibly superficial. Ain't not for you. Dude won't even take you to the corner store. Not for you. Joe, is that Joe No Go? Says, I'm terrible with relationships. Why though, Joe? Why are you terrible? Why? What happened? What do you think you're doing wrong, Joe, if you're still on here? Lindsay said, that's why I stayed in the house today. I'm tired of giving, and I never get any love back. You're giving love to the wrong people. When you're not getting it back and you say you're tired, that means that it's a repetitive cycle possibly. That means that whoever you're giving it to, this ain't the first person that didn't give it back. So now you have to be honest with yourself and start to assess your selection process. Who are the types that you're targeting to give this love to that they don't seem to ever want to give it back? What is the type that you're targeting? Now it's time to assess that and reevaluate that and change that. Because somebody out there gonna appreciate what you bring to the table. And they're not gonna stop at the appreciation of what you bring. They're not gonna stop. See, some people stop at appreciate. Ooh, look at all this you brought to the table. What a table. But the real one's gonna say, okay, well, hold on now. Now I appreciate all this you brought to the table. Okay, now let's slide some of your stuff to the middle. Let's move, because we got to make room on this table for what I'm about to bring to it. A real man ain't satisfied with just watching a woman do everything and pay the bills, and unless he a pimp. And a pimp ain't a real man to me. Y'all gonna get mad. You're not a man if you're a pimp. If you think, oh, hey, man, you know, you gotta put these hoes out there, man. If these hoes make this money for me, man, you gotta get your pimping up. What kind of man are you? You ain't no man. You trying to live off women and make women exploit themselves and sell their bodies just to come give you the money. You don't do nothing for it. Dally D says, what if they be putting in 50% when they can, but you putting in 80% waiting? You see the effort, but will they make it? Well, I'm gonna say this to you, Dally, if you're still on here with us. 50% is a respectable effort, even when or if, in your view, they could be doing more, right? So to break down and read what you put, your statement, your question, you said, what if they're putting in 50% when they can? You say, but you're putting in 80% waiting. What are you waiting on? You said they can. If 50 is the best they can do in that moment, which you would have to be the judge of that, you would have to really know and evaluate that person and say, well, okay, I know that they really trying. But it's only 100%. So the 50 and 80 makes 130, unless we are assessing it from what I view to be another way to look at it. Both of y'all have the potential to give 100%. So if you're breaking it down like that, okay, I understand. So he's giving 50% out of his possible 100 that he can give. You're putting in 80 out of your possible 100. Then that means it's 20% worth of room for improvement for you. And he has 50%, according to your numbers, 50% that he could be giving more of. But some people don't give you that. Now, the last part of what you said is the key. The last part of what you said is the key, Daddy D. You said you see the effort. If you see the effort, you got to have patience. You said, but will they make it? We don't know, but the effort gives them a chance. I'm speaking about people who ain't even giving the effort. They just waiting on you. They take your 80 and what they giving is a 0 or 2%. That's far worse. So you saying you see the effort. If you care about them, you like them, love them, whatever the case is, just hang in there. That's my advice. Based on what you wrote, based on what you're saying. You got to know what a person's end game is in their mind. Like, okay, I work at the gas station now, but I don't plan to be doing that even 3 years from now. 5. You got to know how their mind is wired up. What levels do they think on? Do they think on little just, I'm regular, I'm gonna always be regular? Or do they think bigger and they understand that the level that they on right now is just a pit stop? Got to be patient. Be patient with somebody who you see is giving the effort. All right, I'm gonna go back down and go back up. Hold on, I'm gonna read Dally's earlier comment. He said, what about fear? bouncing between is my fear. You said bouncing between, is my fear leading me, or am I being realistic with them? Fear of what? What are you fearing? I'm gonna go back down, y'all. I'm so unorganized, man. I'm sorry. Hit that like button, man, if y'all haven't. Let's get to 100 likes. We closing in. Let's get to that 100 likes. Trying to read what y'all talking about, man. You gotta learn. You gotta be able to discern. You gotta have what they call discernment. The power of discernment. Robert Sanders says, I tried to help my ex-wife. However, she was a narcissist. That word coming up a lot. Ooh, y'all using that word narcissist tonight. Is it that many narcissists on the planet? What percentage of the human population are narcissists? And can we just lump everybody in? Because do we not all have narcissistic qualities? Do we not all have little sprinkles of narcissism in us, but we may not be full-blown narcissists yet? Yet. You said I tried to help my ex-wife, however, she was a narcissist and kept blaming me. The last straw was that she said she felt that I felt a certain way. I only how I feel, and we say trying to say I only know how I feel or felt how I feel in any moment. Well, one thing you said, Robert, you said she was your ex-wife. So clearly you made the move, or somebody made the move to say, all right, this is not good for me. And that's what I was telling Jovan and anybody else who might, because a lot of times we ask questions that really have obvious answers. Just leave. It's better. You know, it sounds messed up. It sounds, oh man, you shouldn't tell people. No. When you discover that, man, this is messed up, man. And I've tried. It's been a long time. This is not going to, hey man, leave. It's over. Quentin Thomas says a lot of people I wrote off could have been a bridge when I needed them most, but it's because they needed us the most when we wrote them off. Let me read that again. A lot of people I wrote off could have been a bridge when I needed them most, but it's because they needed us the most when we wrote them off. Did they deserve to be written off? And people can be a bridge. People can also be a learning lesson for you. See, I spoke about the people earlier who seem to get their foot slammed in the same bear trap over and over again, because we don't seem to learn from our mistake. We stick our hand in the fire every time. Bubba C says, I've written plenty of people off. He said, guess who ends up being the better person if not one of you, is both of you. And you know, that's a good point, Bubba, because sometimes the best way to help people, thinking about Lindsay right now, you say you giving and giving and giving and not getting nothing back. See, sometimes the best way to give, the best thing you can give to people to make them better is they walking papers. Because sometimes that can force people into the reality of having to do something for themselves. Like, man, he cut me loose, she cut me loose. They don't have no choice. Don't have no choice. Cutting you loose. So Bubba said, guess who ends up being better? The better person. If not one of you, both of you. That's possible. A lot of times a person is who they are. It's like they're going to be trifling with you, the person before you, the next three after you. That's who they are. Some people are locked in and that's who they're going to be. But some people, oh yeah. People will come back and thank you for tough love sometimes. Thank you for shutting them down sometimes, because it put them in a position where they had to be better for themselves and they got better. So it just depends on the person. DT says you can't fix people. You can try to teach them. But if they're not vibrating on your frequency, you got to move on. Yeah, you got to move on, man. You waste too many time. You waste too many years of your life, man. A lot of times, and this is gonna hurt, but a lot of times you might be the person who was meant to train that person for the next person. So they gave you all the hell and you tried your best to instill the qualities and teach them, hey, no, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to make you better. They pushed back and gave you all the problems in the world. And then as soon as you finally let them loose or cut loose, they give it somebody else and be perfect. Because all the training that you gave them paid off. Then you sitting there like, but it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. He gonna come he gonna thank you, Big Ock. People may not be on that level. They wasn't on your level when y'all was together. You was in a different place. You was in a higher place up here. You was in a different type of space up here. And you didn't understand why they was not in that space you in. Then then they caught up. By the time they caught up, you moved on, they moved on, but they got it now. Be happy for them. You see, you was like that when you was with me. We could still be together. Wasn't meant. Unique Beauty, what's going on? How are you? Appreciate you coming through. Knowing when people are not for you, knowing situations are not for you. We'll get into situations a little bit before we shut it down. Everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to be big time, whatever. You jumping into schemes and get rich hustles and all that. You ain't studied and researched it and don't know enough to know about it. And you put all your chips in a bad basket. The basket got a hole in it. You lose all your chips. You made a move that wasn't good for you. You had a good job, decent job. Somebody sold you the possibility of this other opportunity being better. You didn't check it out. You jumped ship from something that was good for you, and you end up losing or finding out that the grass wasn't greener, and discover the hard way that the situation wasn't good for you. It's all love, Lindsay. You know what it is. Sometimes we know what to do. I guess I'm bouncing back to people. We just don't want to do it. I love him. You don't love you. Because if you say you love a person and that's the reason why it makes you continue to let that person abuse you in any way, you don't love you. And if you don't love you, you definitely don't love, and you can't love nobody else. I got a song about that. Didn't I make a song that said that? See? You got to love you. I told y'all, it's better to be miserable alone than to be miserable in a situation just for familiarity, just to say I got somebody, because that is a prolonged misery. When you are alone, if you take the proper steps, that misery is gonna be on the way out. That's gonna go away. That's gonna fade at some point. Y'all don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We make the mistake of worshiping people. Man, I don't worship nobody. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Triple D, man, did you come to the? You weren't at the show last night, man. Was you at the show last night, Triple D? No. If you was, make me know. You was in Dallas. I was in Dallas, Texas, performing last night. I wouldn't call myself a clinical psychologist, man, but your big brother done been through some things. Oh, hey, you was at work, Triple D. Salute. Don't miss no money on my account. Salute to you, my brother. You would have came if you didn't have to work. Okay. I'm going to take that. See? You got to think about it. You got to think about you. Give me 8 more likes, man. Wobbs, what do you mean you say I'm stuck in work? Oh, you say you're stuck in worship. Yeah, man, we be worshiping people, man. You know how I know? I've never said this. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never said this. But people say it all the time. If somebody says about another person, I can't live without them, you worshiping that person. You have an unnatural affinity for that person. It's no being outside of God himself that you should ever fix your mouth to say you can't live without. And the sad truth is that a lot of people act on that thought that they can't live without somebody because they act on it. People will commit suicide behind somebody breaking up with them, which means you worship that person. You never loved yourself. It's nobody. I wouldn't care if the person treats you perfectly. They could treat you beautifully. You should still never fix your mouth to think or feel that you can't live without that person. Hmm. Man, already. I didn't get back in town already till later this evening though. I was wore out too, man. Much love to Dallas, Texas. Shout out to everybody who came out last night and showed us big love. We appreciate y'all, man. Yeah. If a person makes you feel like you can't live without them, you need to cut them loose. A person would tell you, you'll never find nobody like me. How can you tell me that I'll never find anybody like you? Number one, most people who say that, they usually mistreating the person that they told that to. So yeah, I could find somebody that's gonna mistreat me and do me bad like you doing me. But for the sake of argument, if you feel like the way you treat me is so good and I can't improve on you, then you got a fool that you're dealing with. You dealing with a fool. Time to go. You gonna find nobody like me? I hope not. I hope I don't find but one you in my life, and it be you, because I'm through. But if somebody ever tells you that, that should be your sign to head for the hills, man. Head for the hills. Get out. You don't know everybody in the world. There's 8 billion people on the planet. How do you know what I'm going to not find? Everybody can be improved on. You're a fool if you ever told somebody that. JD, what's up, my brother? Hey, man, y'all see my boy Jay Jemison in the building. South Park Coalition in the building. My brother took real good care of me in Dallas, man, this weekend. My homie came and picked me up from the airport. And look, I'm gonna say this here, see, because on this topic that we on, you know, I use my brother as an example. You know, you talk about, you have the word selfish and you have the word selfless. You know, my brother Jay, we call him JD, but y'all see Jay Jemison in the chat box. You know, this is selfless brother, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I ever seen this dude upset or mad. I've never seen him like in a down mood or feeling sad or always upbeat, always happy. He might go home and punch the walls out at home when he by himself. Who knows? I don't know. But when he comes around, he always lifts the energy up. Yeah, I went to my mama's house today. Tell your mom happy birthday too, man. It's past 12, so happy belated. But you need people like that with that kind of energy, because they are a reflection of how we should be. Never ask for nothing in return, but deserves everything. That's the kind of brother this is that y'all looking at in this box, in this chat. Jay Jemison, that's the kind of brother he is. So we can learn a lesson from people like JD, because the whole concept of this topic tonight, when I say knowing who's for you and what's for you and what isn't and who isn't, is based around us not understanding how to surround ourselves or detect and select people to be around us, and becoming ourselves the type of people who are team oriented. I just want the team to win. That's a rare quality. Hey man, I just want the team to win. That's how you know somebody is for you. They don't care who scored the most points. They don't care who get the most shine, the most recognition. They don't care. They don't care about, did the team win? Were we successful? If we were successful, if we did a great job as a collective and everybody was made better, I'm happy, that person is happy. That's how you know what you got, man. Did the team win? Sometimes the team consists of 10 people, 20 people. Sometimes the team consists of just 2. So you and the person that you are involved with, the relationship that we've been talking about this whole chat, what you are wanting for yourself, as we had these conversations and we express our disappointments and frustrations and anger, we are upset and disappointed and mad because we feeling like somebody is not being a team player. I'm trying to get this money. I'm trying to establish this business. I'm trying to build and grow as a person. And I want to do it with you as my teammate. And you ain't playing the game. You hogging the ball. You being selfish. You got 4 men on you and you still trying to head fake to figure out a way to take the shot. You being selfish. You're not being a team player. So them 2 people teams, relationships, marriages, you got to find somebody who wants to be a part of that team, and you got to find somebody who believes in the playbook that y'all gonna run plays out of. Because you running one play, they running another play. It's chaos on the floor. A team player understands that when the team wins, I win. I win. I get a championship ring too. I get to stand on the podium too with everybody and they holding the trophy. I might have did one thing that made the difference. He scored all the points. He hit 40, but I might have got the steal that saved the game. He gonna get the MVP trophy because he was our best player, but I might have been the one that when the game was on the line, I stood there and took a charge and sacrificed my body, and that's what won the game. Team. As some of y'all might know or may not know, Emma trying to crack a joke. How does it feel to scratch my head as a bald person? It feels good because just because you bald don't mean your head can't itch. Come on, Emma. I was playing this basketball league. I still play in this basketball league, by the way. But a couple of seasons ago, it was a guy on our team. He loved to shoot. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to shoot too. Now, I puts it up. Now, I'm not one of those guys who just set the pick and I get my fair share of shots up. I come in the game thinking about scoring. but I also know how to play the game to where I know when to do what. But the point I'm making is this. We played a game and we won the game. True story, man. True story. We won the game. Everybody happy we won the game. We sitting on the side, wiping sweat. We happy we won the game. This dude gets into a verbal altercation with one of our other players because he said that the guy wasn't passing him the ball enough. And he was mad because he didn't get enough shots in a game that we won. Now, I didn't know the guy like that. He was cool with the guy that brought me on the team. I didn't know the guy before we played together. So I'm observing their conversation. And my buddy handled it in a way that I wouldn't have handled it. He was trying to reason with the guy and, well, no, man, I was passing to you. I might have missed you a couple of times, but that's not how I would have handled it, y'all. Because the first thing that came out of my mouth is, man, what kind of dude are you to be crying and complaining about a game we won because you didn't get enough shots? Come on, man. Those are the kind of people you got to watch out for. I don't want to play on a team with guys like that. He never gave me no problems. But I don't want to play. I don't like playing with guys like that. Because I feel like a lot of those behaviors and mentalities are carryovers into other parts of life. Dude, we play in a 40 and up league. It's not going to be no NBA scouts looking at us. You're not going to get your name in the newspaper. Nobody's going to interview you after the game. What kind of glory are you trying to get from playing in a 40 and up league at a church with 13 people in the bleachers watching? That's some past stuff. See, I couldn't even say it out of my mouth for Lavish Logo said. He said childlike. I said that's some past stuff. That's some stuff from your past. Same thing. You got some unresolved issues that you never worked out. You're not for the team. See, it don't really matter what kind of status you got. Some people feel like their position in life puts them at a level to where certain things they can't do because it's beneath me. I'm not on the level to do that. Why are you asking me to take the picture? Hey man, can you take a picture of us? Hey man, I'm the one who gets pictures taken. People take pictures with me. I don't take pictures. Why not? Why are you too good? Let me shut up because the people think like that. Pay attention to people, man. Don't be so quick to jump into situations, business situations, personal situation. Don't be so quick, man. Do your best to find out and watch people. Watch how people move, especially if you're around them a lot. Be patient. I don't care if you, hey man, well, I ain't had a woman, man, in 3 years, bro. I'm just trying to be with somebody, man. I'm lonely, man. Don't let your emotions, don't let loneliness make you dive into something that you're gonna regret. Hey man, y'all drop y'all locations, man. I'm about to get out y'all way. I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't hit the like button, everybody that's in here who didn't hit like yet, click that thumbs up. If y'all haven't already. Bubba C said we should trade to autographs and art. Yeah, fine with me. Wouldn't be my first time. Drop y'all locations, man. That's right. R.I.P. Big Pokey. Spiky out there in California, my brother. Spiky, 1898. I hope that ain't the year you was born. Then again, if it's the year you a bad man. Bubba Seeds out there in Fruit City, Orange, Texas. Mr. 24/7, Trinity Gardens. Say, but I'm from the Heights. Well, stand on it then. Triple D out there in Oak Cliff. JD Laney, West Virginia. Tamika Woods. Appreciate the love. Good night, Tamika. I don't want you to cuss me out if you got to get up early and you late for work. Appreciate it, Tamika. Appreciate you coming through. Big Art from the South Bronx. Why don't you wise up, show all the people in the place that you are whack? Instead of trying to take out LL, you need to take your homeboys off the crack. Woo. Big Art, my brother from another. Daniel said, you'd be surprised who would betray you for money. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised at all. These days, you're more surprised when you don't get betrayed, because the world and the circumstances and the ways of the world have set it up that you expect it. You anticipate the betrayal. So when somebody proves themselves to be solid, you be like, man, he was really solid. He could have stole my money and didn't do it. He didn't try to sleep with my wife. Wow. Death's Head says, watch and observe everything. There's snakes all around us. Snakes all around us and good people all around us. Because when I say knowing who's for you and what's for you, it don't always mean the bad. You want to know the bad so you can pluck out the good. It's like picking out fruit at the grocery store in the produce section. You in the produce section, it's a billion freaking lemons, 200 bell peppers in a little bin, but you trying to pick out a good one. Remember, JD, remember last night we was talking about that watermelon you had? See, that's an analogy. You got a big thing of watermelons. You go to the store, you want a watermelon. And I was asking the question. I say, how do you know? And I was being serious because I don't know. How do you know how to pick? How do you know when you're picking a good watermelon? I want to ask y'all, what's the key? Everybody in here who eats watermelon, what's the secret to making sure you pick the right watermelon? Knowing what watermelon is for you. As we stay on topic, I want to see what y'all say. JD had a watermelon last night. And I always wonder that. I'm like, but see, you can get a watermelon that's seeded, but you can still pick a bad watermelon. You can still pick one that's not as good as the other one. Of course, you want it to have seeds in it. Okay, Triple D said you can smell it through the rind, through the hull. Lavish Logo said yellow spot, green lines. Wob said when it looked yellow. Okay, we got 2 yellow. Hold on, wait a minute. 3 in a row said yellow spot. Hold on now. Okay, that's I'm learning. 3 people in a row. Lavish said yellow spot. Wob said when it looks yellow. Barry Tone Jones says nice big yellow spot. So it's the yellow spot. That's the key. See, we was talking about last night, people be thumping on it, holding it up to the moon, spinning it like a basketball. You got to spin it on your finger like the Globetrotter. If it spins for 5 seconds, that's a good watermelon. See, if it stays on my finger for 5 seconds, that's a juicy watermelon. Everybody got their own way. Big Ox said, I think you got to shake it for juices, don't you? No, I don't think that's it, Ox. Look, that's it. G-Roll said thump it. But when you thump it, what are you listening for? What you listening for when you thump? Okay, I can thump it. But what I'm thumping it to hear what? That's what I'm saying. KS said thumping it is when I see people thump watermelons all my life, but what am I listening for when I thump it? I'm like, I'm trying to get some bass, like 808. Oh yeah, it sounds like 808. Yeah, that's a good watermelon right there. That's the 808. That's that 808 watermelon right there. See? It's like life, man. This fall right in pocket with the topic, man. How do you know what's for you? How do you know that watermelon is the best one for you? Okay, you got another. Gerald Hawkins say sweet melons had a yellow belly. I'm gonna have to go with the majority, man. I'm gonna have to go with everybody saying that yellow. JD, you just thumped it, huh? Just because everybody else was there. That's what they say to do. Spikey says it has to have a little yellow on it. Okay, they yellow. Okay, y'all gonna make me go get a watermelon. I don't even eat watermelon like that. But I want to go. Y'all gonna make me buy 2 watermelons and do an experiment. I'm gonna come on live with 2 watermelons, one with the yellow spot and one with not yellow spot. That didn't make sense. Halfston, what's up, my brother? One of the realest. Oh, hold on. Osita said yellow spot. Okay. See, he gave detail. Osita said the yellow spot shows that it was ripened on the vine. You're going into the science of it. Yellow spot. Mr. 24/7, do you have any jams with Big Pokey? No, me and Big Pokey never did a song together. We never did a song together. But what I would want y'all to do, I would encourage y'all to go watch my interview with Big Pokey that I did on my radio show from about 3 years back. It's on this channel. So if y'all still up when we get off, just go and put in K-Rino and Big Pokey, and the interview will come up, man. I watched a little of that interview tonight, man. I hadn't watched it since we did it. I think y'all will really enjoy it, man. Go check it out 24/7. So grandma said yellow spot. So here's the metaphor for that. this is what we need to do in closing. The same way we look for the yellow spot on the watermelon, we need to look for that metaphorical yellow spot in people and in situations. The yellow spot can represent just people showing good character, people showing that they would go above and beyond and do things for you the same way that you would do for them. That is the yellow spot. That's the new term for somebody just being solid. Probably won't catch on, but that's what we gonna say. Amen. Because normally they try to say that, man, you know, he got a yellow streak, like he make him a coward. We ain't say a yellow streak, we say a yellow spot. So look for that yellow spot in people, man, and let you know that you picked a good one, just like that watermelon. Well, y'all see how stuff just come together, man. This comes together, man. Blessings to y'all. I'm getting ready to ask y'all to do something that I know y'all not gonna do, but I'm gonna ask you to do it anyway. Let me read this last comment from Jay. An old lady who used to pick them told me, look for one that is really white on one side because it's been sitting in the sun the longest. Okay. Okay, now let me ask y'all to do what I know y'all not gonna do. What's up, Rasan? Salute to you, my brother. Good to see you, man. Much love. Thank you for the love, Rasan. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your presence last night. Rasan was at the show last night. Came through and showed us big love, great energy, humble spirit, good-hearted brother. Hey, man, where them pictures? Y'all supposed to tag me in some of them pictures, man. What's up, Night Wolf? Halston said the people you don't even need to ask to help, you move or whatever, they just arrive. Ooh, yes, sir. Your real friends, they just do friend stuff. If you got to ask for the love all the time and look for the love all the time, that's too much work. Let's find a yellow spot in people, man. Pick your people with that yellow spot. Real Smoke still talking about knock on it, thump on it. What you listening for when you thump on it? What if you thump that watermelon one day? What if you hold that watermelon up and you thump it, and then you hear somebody go, who is it? What would you do? Your voice come out the watermelon. Yeah. Yeah, my Instagram, appreciate the love. To be honest with you though, Rasan, I was tired last night. I didn't really have the energy that I normally have when I come on stage. I might have been jet lagged or something, I don't know. But I didn't really have the energy. I was really glad that we did like the group set because I didn't have to do a lot of rapping last night. We was in and out, back and forth. But next time we come, we're going to do it bigger and better. We didn't have the crowd we wanted. But guess what? We had the energy. We had the love from the people that was there, boy. Ooh, y'all showed us so much love last night. JD, am I lying? Yeah. Yeah, that's my Instagram. But I would rather you send them to my email. I'm put my email address. If you can, email them to me. You too, JD, whatever y'all got. Send them to my email. See, look at Gerald Hawkins dropping that deep sign. He say, find that well-ripened spot in a person's character. Come on, man. That's right. Okay, then let me ask y'all to do something that I know that y'all not gonna do. Yeah, everybody used to tell, they don't tell me I look like Dave Chappelle no more. Because Dave Chappelle, he got all cock strong now. So I don't get Dave Chappelle no more. I want y'all to subscribe to the Underground Dialogue podcast. And watch the videos, man. I spell videos wrong. But y'all know what I mean. Subscribe to our podcast, Underground Dialogue Podcast. I know y'all not gonna do it, but I'm gonna keep asking. It's all love. Hey man, I appreciate the love from y'all. Y'all have a great night. I'll catch y'all later on. Inshallah. Peace.